Give thanks and praise. Welcome back, dissidents. I'm going to sneak in a very quick installation. I am still catching up for a lot of the holiday back burner stockpile. And thank you everybody who joined me in the live last night for my very first live. That was really humbling and deeply ingratiating. I so greatly enjoy all the feedback and attention and the questions and the playfulness. That was just so much fun. So also, it was new to look at the camera for me. Look at me. I'm mostly beard from this position. Yeah, that was new to actually engage the camera and the people live. It was a totally new experience. And yeah, so it was great having my virginity lost on January 9th of 2024 for my first live stream. Thank you so kindly. And also, it was a scattered hot mess, but you know, we're going to get better as we go, right? We're going to get better. Let's see. I'm going to work on some nice screen share situation for some live streaming. I have a lot of visual work that I think would have more give and take. So yeah, look forward to that. I want to clean up a couple loose ends, and I have to be expedient. We're going on live with Tippecanoe herbs and healing homes and Interverse tonight, so this is really going to be a rushed job. But again, thank you, appreciations, and yeah, we'll do that again in no time. Okay. In today's installation of the Slick Distance Shared Learning Experience, of course, we have talked about the Millennium Filja. This falcon has, as soon as I started digging into Yeats, I find out that I think there's a football team with some falcon iconography that's going to be circulating the gyre for the next few months. I believe this falcon is actually a symbol of the Sultan. Everybody's out there screaming, "It's Horus, it's Horus." I know about all that. We're kind of coming at it with fresh lens. This falcon, I think, is a sultan. Sultans are different from kings. Sultans are a king of kings. And that is a different echelon of influence. When I say influence, I am talking about the stars, and I'm talking about equity, and I'm talking about the engineering of vices. Skillful engineering of the vices. So these influencers, well, the King of Kings is on a different level of significance, especially in other cultures. It's way over my head, is what I'm saying. But a King of Kings is a kingmaker. That is not what we call King Charles III, who is a number 3. He's putting the Neptune sign in his all over the place. His official cipher, his PSI, his cipher is 9393. It's Neptunium. This guy is Neptune all the way. King Charles is over here. Now there's something really weird about him being a king of kings, a king maker, as it were, because that was in his coronation ceremony, and a lot of people, it went over their head. It just sounds like flowery words, but that means a lot on an international level, a high pay grade, I'm sure. Okay. The Falcon of the Millennium Filja is kind of freaking me out because of the filja of it. I believe it is a, could call it your Merkaba, you could call it your imaginatory loci. In Donnie Darko, they had those crazy worms that ran in the front of everybody. It was like their intentions going in front of them. That's called a fjordjord in Norse mythology. It's putting your filja to use. You can send it to the house and tell them to start a fire because you'll be there in a half hour. All right. This falcon ever spiraling the gyre is a hot topic right now because I think there's a football team. I think King Charles is hitting on this. I think that figures of speech are spiraling around like all of the buzzwords. And this spiraling gyre, I think, works very powerfully to refract language in fascinating ways. And right now, well, I'm focusing on the minærAKender Falcon and Maud Gonne and her significance with Yeats and what I think Lucas was fully dialed into. I think actually the entire Star Wars series is part of the, part of the original programming of the Thoth Tarot deck. We've got obviously Wizard of Oz. We have obviously Star Wars. Almost so many films. But this Falcon is just hitting a real chord. And, you could even, this could be Luke Skywalker's ship as well, right? Luke Skywalker's vessel. Also, if we were to put something like this in the middle of that, we're looking at Luke Skywalker's ship. It's a both and situation. And Yoda is right here, Plato's Cave. Dagobah system, Plato's Cave, Yoda. Pluto is the only planet that has a view to access the exit point between the 5 and the 4. It's really something how consistent it all is. Okay, I want to correct something I said in the last Slick Dissident minærAKender gyre episode. The Millennium Falcon is the heptad in the middle, but I associate it with the Tower card because it has all the telemetry data, it has all the written word, all the documentation. That is the Tower of Babel, all the stories in one location, all the stories in one location. That is totally the Tower, which is an anagram for our teeth, right? These stories, they feed us. These are the stories we masticate upon. But I failed to mention that the minærAKender Falcon is also this veil of the Empress card. Machiavelli, his entire endeavor, he called mi interpresa. It's like my enterprise. So we have the Starship Enterprise with the Neptune, with the Uranian sigil here. But Machiavelli is the ultimate deceiver, performer, achiever with the number 3 orientation. That was one of my discoveries very early on, that Machiavelli makes a very sound number 3 personality type. And that this veil, the shape of this veil, is very correspondent to the shape of the Enneagram and the Millennium Falcon. I could almost turn it upside down and put it in this slot here for the heptad. But also, I remember that Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter was totally the Cygnus constellation, which again is the Ukraine symbol. Okay, I wanted to mention the erotes. I went way all over the place on my live feed. God, that took forever to say a whole lot. And so it was a hot, scattered mess. I just want to be really concise. The erotes, I think these are the inner child that we know quite well. We have a very solid language about these inner children. But many people never learn their actual names. And their actual names are very hard to say. Some of them, I think, are hard to say on purpose, because the hard one to say is the bridal hem. It is the reception. That's the bridal reception. It's receptivity. That one's name is Hymenaios. Hymenaios is the bridal hem cherub. This is a little Cupid with a very specific purpose. I think that many rites of passage in our life are actually overseen by these desires, these concerns, these needs that everybody is kind of having met on a daily basis on the micro and also in a lifetime on the macro. Next we have Hymeros is the impetuous one. You can think of this as like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to go date your sister. Effeminate is hermaphrodito. That's a real trigger. When people saw the Baphomet, they were having a psychological schism. Knights Templar, they drink this amazing hot chocolate with mushrooms and all the ecstasy you could imagine. And then they get revealed to the Baphomet and their heart is open. And they have a ridiculous amount of shame about having their heart open and being emotionally attached to some crazy goat sex symbol that is hermaphrodito. And so there's a heart attachment of shame. All of these little candles that could light up the night for you have a lot of shame built into their intrinsic functionality. The word shamir, the shimmer, the shadow, might have a great deal to do with these little cherubs. The next one is Sweet Talk. He is Hedi Logos. I think that is addiction. That's head logos. It's a voice in your head telling you to go smoke that whatever. They are erotes. Okay. Anteros is accounted love. And in the live feed, I just want to give a dance. I want to give a dance to the live feed, y'all. That was some kung fu shit. We found out that Anteros is an anagram for treason. Treason. Saturn. Anteros is sitting between the 8 and the 2. This is going to be Donald Trump. Somebody. I'm thinking Donald Trump. Treason. Not only is Anteros treason, it is S-A-E as one letter, T-O-R-N. Saturn is also in Anteros. And the 82 is lead, very Saturnian number. The significance is profound. So treason is in the season, and also thanks to the chat, another dance from the chat. Somebody was telling me about Antares is in Scorpio. Scorpio signifies betrayal. So treason and the tail of the Scorpio, it's on. It's on. We have found the ray of the scorpion. This is the scorpion's tail right here, Anteros. Oh, hold on. But I want to say this. And this is the reason I'm talking. I don't think they're always in the same order. I don't think I can come in here and be like, hey, guess what? Enneagram had it all wrong. I don't think that's what's up. I think you can rearrange these in certain aspects in certain ways. I think part of the rainbow pride movement is maybe a reordering of these little inner children. And that is actually a very adult topic to be talking about directly. So this generational gap between the pride movement and X generation Z, different, you're not old enough, you're too old, you're not on the same wavelength. All of those dynamics are in here with the relationships of this little angel family. And so I've arranged them the way that I see them, but I am sure somebody else would come and prefer them in a different arrangement, and that might be more appropriate for them. I think this could be a great endeavor in self-therapy and self-discovery on a new level of what the Enneagram already does. Those kids in the mall, the pedophilia of this system, of the ancestors. This is the basket. This is the beehive. This would be a beehive. All these little brothers. And the metaphor of the world is a prison is a very difficult integration for a literal spiritual prism of the heart. I believe this is the Pneuma. I believe this is the imaginative function of the eros, where the blood and the air come together and the magic of the spiritual experience happens. I think way more of our imagination is in our chest than in our head. I think the third eye of the pineal is all well and good, but it's also very slothful. it's also not very active. You can get a lot done and never get your heart in your work. You know what I'm saying? You might notice Slick Dissident prefers to stand up. You might notice Slick Dissident prefers to stand up. All right. Yeah, more heart, y'all. More heart. All right. So, yeah, another thing. When I was studying these little erotes, of course, all those little nudges and innuendos and inclinations and little giddy feelings that, oh, maybe there's something there, you know, that sweet innocence, that nonsense of innocence, being very serious. That day, I listed them right here underneath this lover's card. And I'm realizing how magical it was for me just to follow that little whim, to just go with the flow, to just flip a switch and go live, just have a unscheduled impulse. I think that these are great forms of code breaking, of course, hacking as they call it. Oh, and then there's eros in general. Eros in general is maybe the public-facing side of the panel here. Like these guys have their specific personality types, but everybody in the world just would write them off as, oh yeah, Cupid. That's Cupid. Whatever, Cupid. Kind of rhymes with another word, doesn't it? All right. I gotta hurry up. All right, I'm lagging. I am lagging. What else was there? Okay, Giordano Bruno. Giordano Bruno is the lover's card. Also, Francois de la Rochefoucauld, having much to do with self-love. This little baby is carrying a club, which the sign for clubs means fire, elementally speaking. But I think that club is meant to be turned into a lit torch, as the cherub for bridal hymn is symbolized by the torch. Give thanks and praise. All right, ladies and gentlemen. My train of frenzies keeps jumping the track. I'm actually a little bit out of order. I'm going to finish off the earliest video from last week with this. And there will be a torch being passed through my videos, you will notice. And this torch, symbolically, will become increasingly more and more important. The torch is a symbol of one of the erotes in particular. That is the erote of the bridal hymn, whose name is the hardest to say. I think that is very significant. There are a lot of vowels in the bridal hymn where you're making a vow. The dynamic potential of these erotes is so next level. I believe that a lot of our language where we disregard vowels, there's actually a dynamic interplay going into the erotes department. And one more thing, I think that the torch of the erotes maybe being passed around is implicative of the fetishes. The fetishes. This is what Freud harnessed and handed to Bernays, and now they're manufacturing and orchestrating in Netflix, which is almost the word skeleton. If you turn the F into an E, you -1 on Netflix, and you get skeleton in reverse. It's the coolest freaking palindrome. So, the erotes and the torch and the fetishes, the fetus, the fides, the faith, the belief, all of these words are a torch, and we are tortured by the engineering of these desires. And so when a little light goes on inside of you, that torch is an indication to go deeper. So what we're going to be doing on the Slick Dissident channel, we're going to be talking about some shit-coded topics that are going to hit to the heart of the matter, the heart of the mater. We're going into the Pneuma, symbolically. These torches have been implemented in secret orders throughout history, signaling to those in the know, casting great shadow, over great distances and vast times and space. The meaning of these shit-coded social engineers that have captured this number 6 position in the most profound ways. So a lot of the topics are going to be triggering. You might think that I have a blasé attitude or that I'm having fun with it, but that's just staying in the spirit of childishness, because that's the only way you get through the shit pile of history of what is going on around these societies that are signified by what I'm seeing in these cards. So please understand that I am being artistic, and whatever emotional off-gassing comes off from my artistic playfulness is nothing more than the alchemical process. So yes, understand that the torture of this topic is multi-generational, it is deep, and we will be getting our hands quite dirty on some of these plays on words, because the candelabra of the children speaking and these infantilization of humanity through words is the most profound spell ever. And I can list a great many examples. The best example is dream. Your dreams, in reverse, the word dream is the Latin word for merde, shit. They've shit-coded our dreams. And it's reinforced by language in the most subtle ways, and only the inner child is receiving all of these playful innuendos. Sigmund Freud was quite aware of this. Edward Bernays picked it up, and they've been marching that Darwinian drum for too long. It's time for a new song, y'all. We're about to dance in ways you never imagined. All right, so the torch of the erotes is going to be so significant as we found it in the Messier Marathon opening scene of Season 2 Loki. They are enacting the Messier Marathons, which is a race. And in the Messier Marathons, they had to get over their race so they could come together and pass a torch of information that had to do with the Crab Nebula that goes back to 1052 in the East and West split, which is the split of the human sagittal ridge, the left and the right brain, that is anatomically expressed by the Enneagram. You fuse Gurdjieff and McGilchrist, and you get a great amount of value in seeing the archetypes of the realm and systematically organizing our thoughts and priorities. All right, so I'm going to close off there with the erotes, and I just want everybody to consider how the HOR, the HOR, the House of Representatives, is the candelabra. It is children talking. It is children in a labyrinth. It's a maze of these little captured erotes that are the inner child of the collective. And they know this symbolically. They are speaking on all of the levels when they generate this visual pun of children speaking, children crying out. That is what runs this government. They are a bunch of kids who can't get along, acting and pretending to be grown-ups, talking about the most important issues that kids should have nothing to do with. And meanwhile, they are doing it ritualistically in the shape of the candelabra, the children talking, shamefully casting shadows very far and wide, all through history. All right, we'll get into all that. Big up, much love.